Carlos Asuita. Rachel Maddow accuses Donald Trump of lying about the ways we're fighting COVID-19. She gets a lot of likes, but all her claims are wrong. First, her video. The video will be posted in the thread. What Maddow is doing is relying on the superficial and biased reporting of the mainstream press. It takes a while to find the information, so the press doesn't bother to dig into it. Since people like Maddow have incredibly short attention spans, they read headlines only. Trump is fully aware of all the information I'm going to post here, which is why he's saying what he's saying. Maddow is giving us the news equivalent of Pop-Tarts, so of course if you consume her product, it's bad for you. She isn't lying. She's just vacuous. Let's debunk her accusations one by one. Here goes. Trump didn't say chloroquine was effective in treating SARS. He said it was fairly effective on SARS, and it was. We report, however, that chloroquine has strong antiviral effects on SARS-CoV infection of primate cells. But Trump immediately asked Anthony Fauci if that was correct, and Fauci said that chloroquine had not undergone clinical trials as a treatment for SARS, which is correct. Trump didn't lie, but Maddow is a news Pop-Tart, so she can't grasp what I just wrote. Next. Trump lied about chloroquine being approved as a treatment for COVID-19. No, Trump didn't lie. At a later briefing, Mr. Trump said chloroquine had been approved for compassionate use. This is where a doctor can give a drug that is yet to be cleared by the government to a patient in a life-threatening condition. Doctors are able to prescribe chloroquine in these circumstances as it's a registered drug. Article from the BBC. Has Trump approved malaria drug for treating coronavirus? So this is what the press is telling us. Quote, the FDA has not approved the use of chloroquine to treat COVID-19, but the FDA has approved the use of chloroquine to treat COVID-19. Maddow doesn't know about compassionate use. Pop-Tarts simply read headlines. Next. Trump lied about COVID-19 being well contained in the U.S. No. He was relying on the information he had at the time, such as from the sainted World Health Organization. January 14th, World Health Organization tweets, preliminary investigations conducted by the Chinese authorities have found no clear evidence of human-to-human transmission of the novel coronavirus identified in Wuhan. Pop-Tart Maddow doesn't understand the concept of learning. She's been static for decades, so no new information can enter her noggin. When people learn, Maddow thinks that means what they said earlier was lying. Learn is a novel concept for Maddow. Next, Trump lied when he said we'd have 1.4 million tests available in a week. No, he didn't lie. We got 500,000 from Italy. Then we got 500,000 from Turkey. And it's not possible to know how many have been fast-tracked by private companies. I had to look long and hard for confirmation of Trump's assertions on tests. It's not that the Maddow press is lying. It's that they're stupid, shallow, superficial. They're like 5-year-olds. To a 5-year-old, something not immediately visible doesn't exist. Maddow honestly believes that Trump is lying, but it's only because she doesn't understand how anything works. Nobody at MSNBC is capable of fact-checking. They just ask their sources, who are just as moronic as the Pop-Tarts. The reason Maddow thinks Trump is lying is that she can't comprehend his ability to think outside the box. It's not possible for Trump to use simple enough language for the Pop-Tarts. He'd have to spend all day walking them through things they should already know. Next, Trump lied when he said that Google was creating a website that would help determine whether or not you need a test for COVID-19, and it would be very quickly done. No, Trump didn't lie. Quote, verily, in collaboration with the California Governor's Office, federal, state, and local public health authorities will launch pilot intended to expand access to COVID-19 risk screening and testing for high-risk individuals at Bay Area locations. Verily is Google, and the plan is to go nationwide if the system works. I think Pop-Tart Maddow got confused because she thinks we fight COVID-19 with magic. Actually, I have no idea why the press says Trump lied. Difficulty in comprehending multisyllabic words, maybe? Next. Trump lied when he said that 2 Navy hospital ships would be launched over the next week or so, depending on need. No, Trump didn't lie. Quote, the U.S. Navy hospital ship is expected to head to the Seattle area in the next 5 to 10 days, according to a U.S. defense official. The second ship, the USNS Comfort, is still weeks away from being deployed to New York. The Comfort, which is on the East Coast, should be ready in a couple weeks, Secretary of Defense Mark Esper told CNN's Jake Tapper on Wednesday. End quote. Pop-Tart Maddow, being 5 years old, doesn't grasp the concept of time estimates. You've all experienced this. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Little kids get cranky. I hate you, Daddy! I know. Have a Pop-Tart. They're yummy. Next. Trump lied when he said the government has massive amounts of ventilators. No, he didn't lie. Quote from Wired.com. Some estimates suggest demand for ventilators may quickly overwhelm U.S. hospitals' supply, which includes about 160,000 machines plus 12,000 more in Federal reserves, according to a recent tally by Johns Hopkins researchers. End quote. Some estimates suggest the demand may overwhelm? Excellent reporting, huh? Maddow, the Pop-Tart, read that and said, "We don't have enough ventilators." But that's not true. And we're already in wartime manufacturing mode, thanks to Trump. From TheVerge.com, GM is partnering with Ventec Life Systems to help increase production. Quote, the Military Intelligence Unit has been working to find a way to easily convert simple breath-regulating devices known as CPAP machines into ventilators. These are in short supply and are expected to be needed as the number of coronavirus cases grows, the military said, end quote. And then, from the Times of Israel, elite IDF tech unit working to develop medical equipment and protective gear. Maddow is passive, waiting to be told what to say. She doesn't understand the concept of being proactive. We have lots of alternatives if, and that's a big if, ventilators are in short supply. It hasn't happened yet. But Pop-Tarts don't know this. Next, Trump lied when he said we have millions of masks coming. No, he didn't lie. From the New York Post, quote, Minnesota-based company 3M has doubled its production of coronavirus-protecting N95 respirator masks over the last 2 months to a rate of more than 1.1 billion a year, or almost 100 million a month, according to a report. End quote. That's just one company producing 100 million masks per month. Other companies are ramping up production too. So Rachel Maddow is continuing the press's attempts to undermine Trump. In the case of Maddow, she's not lying. She's just shallow. It took me a good half hour to find all that information. To a Pop-Tart, half an hour of thinking is an eternity. Too long to bear. But isn't it amazing that a layman, nobody like me, has to put in the time to find the truth because the press is too childish to understand that real news is more than headlines? But I don't mind doing it in defense of Trump. I didn't hear this song until a couple of days ago. Now I can't get it out of my head. It's called Johnny Cash, Tennessee Stud. Link in the description. I dedicate this thread to the Queen's stud. God bless you, Mr. President.